Hello, I'm Weiwei. On behalf of the entire China project team, it's an honor and a pleasure to share with you what we've done in the past years. I'd like to start with a brief introduction of my understanding of the Chinese spiritual history and the current landscape. Since about the 6th century, China started to have a spiritual fusion of Confucianism, Buddhism, and Taoism. This combination seems to be very natural because, on one hand, there is the universal truth as foundation in all these traditions. On the other hand, because of the utilitarian approach of the Chinese to religions and philosophies, Confucianism is mainly used for maintaining social and family orders. Chinese laws, moral codes, and social manners were based on it. Buddhism is mainly used to cultivate and purify the mind, to deal with the impermanence of life. Taoism is mainly used to improve health and restore balance in various fields in a holistic way. They each serve their purpose and support each other. So traditionally, the spiritual practice is rooted in daily life and combined with one's family and social responsibilities, which can be summarized as 修身齐家治国平天下, which means through self-cultivation, one can harmonize the family, govern the country with righteousness, and bring peace to the world. However, this wonderful tradition gradually became a dogma and a tool for the ones in power. In the early 20th century, China became a republic. With it came the first wave of cultural movements, where the old philosophical systems were considered backwards and superstitious. They were considered the culprits for China's backwardness and inferiority. Democracy and science were considered the only way to improve society. The school system went through a thorough change. Confucian education was abolished, replaced by a secular and science-driven curriculum. In the 1960s and 70s, during the Cultural Revolution, even private practice of religion was banned. Many historical sites were destroyed or damaged. All traditions from the past were considered hindering China's progress. Starting from the 1980s, China went through a series of economical and political reforms, which allowed it to lift more than 300 million people out of poverty within 20 years, a miracle in human history. The controversial one-child policy created a new generation that enjoyed all resources of the entire family, rigorously trained in the most materialistic but logical manner. They are highly developed intellectually, at the same time very open-minded, unconditioned by any set of religious beliefs. So China entered a new spiritual era with much energy and confusion. The majority of the Chinese population are trained as atheists, but on one hand, the old traditional values are so embedded in the Chinese psyche, in the culture, in the language, and in daily routine. They never really disappeared, and they are revived. On the other hand, many new influences came to China. It is not uncommon to see a Buddhist temple and a Christian church stand side by side in a village. Maria and Guan Yin worshipped by the same people. This is an image of the temple for the revolutionary martyrs. Besides the big world religious traditions, elements and branches of New Age are also present, although the information is fragmented and scarce. Internet is almost the only source of information. Very few people know about Theosophy. If they have heard about it, it's mostly from other New Age traditions. But Theosophy is not new to China. In the 1920s, Dr. Wu Tingfang and some expats established a few theosophical branches in China, mostly in port cities like Shanghai. Unfortunately, they disappeared after World War II. Personally, I think now is the best time to reintroduce Theosophy in China. There is an overall thirst for truth, and amid material richness and the dissatisfaction that comes along with it. The Chinese people has a spiritual base that is in line with the Theosophical teachings. And most importantly, the mind is ready. The mission of the Theosophical Society is to spread the ageless wisdom in the world. It becomes obvious that China is the last blank spot, and the 1.8 billion Chinese-speaking population worldwide should benefit from Theosophical knowledge as well. This seems to be a daunting task, but some enthusiastic members in the Singapore Lodge threw themselves into the work. On December 3, 2011, under the leadership of Sunny Chung, president of the Singapore Lodge, the inaugural meeting of the China Project was held, and the Chinese project team was formed. The first task was, of course, to reach out to the Chinese population via internet. On August 16, 2012, the Chinese Theosophy website, developed by Sister Tan Bicong, was launched. It was ported to the current beta version in 2018. Translation work is a major part of the project. Besides a few Chinese books found in the Artia Library, there's no Theosophical literature in Chinese. In January 2011, Brother Hao Chiu Hong started helping Victor Hao Qing Jr. with the translation of Ageless Wisdom. Later, more books such as An Outline of Theosophy, The Mystery of Life, Key to Theosophy were translated. Translation is an endless task. The first 10 years of efforts start to take some effect. By September 2021, we have 16 people joined as associate members. They are mostly educated young people in their 20s and 30s. This also means that we need to develop a Chinese study program for this group. Videos of lectures proved to be the best way to provide compacted theosophical education, especially when the Chinese diaspora is all around the world, and within China, people are spread over a vast territory under COVID constraints. The team already subtitled Pablo Sander's Foundations of Theosophy. The Singapore Lodge has an English series of lectures called A Course in Theosophy, which was compiled by Sunny over the years. It was proven to be a very effective way to recruit new members. We finished the video production of these 7 lectures in Chinese this year. The power of social media cannot be underestimated. One of our members in Hong Kong created a TS chat group, initially with the associate members. Since the first video was released, it was spread through other people's blogs and other social media. Almost overnight, over 80 people joined the platform, interested in knowing more about Theosophy. Moving forward, our plan is to make more videos on various Theosophical topics. The Singapore Lodge has a very well-developed English program, and we plan to use it, which can save us a lot of time. Also, there is a plan to translate a textbook of Theosophy and more books. They will be used as study materials for associate members. Our biggest challenge is manpower. We are a very small team, and we do whatever we can. Translation needs time, a good mastery of both languages, and good knowledge of Theosophy. We also need good Chinese lecturers who can explain what's written in the book in an engaging way. But in Chinese, there is a saying, 星星之火可以燎原. A spark can light up the whole horizon. We believe in the power of truth and the will of people. Thank you.